My wife thinks I'm a good man, but unknown to her, I've been living a double life for over a decade. I'm a deacon in my church and I've been together with my wife for 25 years. Our marriage has been fantastic, but we have just one tiny problem. On the third day of our marriage, my wife and I discovered that she will be unable to birth kids because she has a weak cervix. That was what the doctor told us when we've tried multiple times and we're not seeing any results to get pregnant. So we decided to go to the hospital to run some tests. And after the test, the doctor told my wife that she has a weak cervix and she might not be able to have kids. When we got home that day from the doctor's appointment, my wife started reassuring me that I should not give up hope, that she knows that this news that the doctor told me might make me change my feelings towards her, but we should not give up hope. Like she was just trying to reassure me. Then I told my wife that she shouldn't worry, that the part of the reason why I married her in the first place is because I love her. I wanted to spend the rest of my life with her in as much as I want kids, but me just discovering this is not going to change my feelings towards her, that she should not worry. So I just kind of like gave her assurance that I am with her every step of the way. From that day onwards, there was nothing my wife did not do. She drank different herbal concoctions. She went for different church programs. She wakes up at night to pray. Like sometimes I'll wake up and I'll hear her pray to asking God just to give her, even if it's one child. I know she did a whole lot of things, but it's as if the more she tried, there was no result. So at some point, she just gave up and was just believing God for a miracle. Now, a couple of years after this, we got to have this understanding. My wife told me that she would want me to get a second wife. That evening, she called me after she served me my meal. She told me that I shouldn't be surprised with what she's about to tell me. She said that she want me to get a second wife so that the woman who brought a child for me that will carry on with my name. When she told me this, I was surprised. I was like, why are you saying this? Because it's not making sense to me. She knows well that I am against polygamy. My wife is against polygamy, but she knows that I am against polygamy because I come from a polygamous home and I know what it did to me and my family. So I told myself while growing up that if I marry, I'm never going to get a second wife. And I made my wife understand that don't worry. I know the reason why you're suggesting this to me is because you're here to birth children. Don't worry, I'm with you every step of the way. Like I just long story short, I just told her that I don't want to have a second wife, that she shouldn't worry. So our marriage kept on going, everything was going fine, of which she was still praying, she was still trying a whole lot of things to get pregnant. Now, fast forward to a couple of years later, there was this time in my church we were having a program. Remember, I said that I am a deacon. So after the program, my pastor called us first timers, and after he has prayed for them, I'm in charge of attending to first timers. So I ushered them into the place where we talk to first timers, and after we finished talking, after I finished talking to them, rather, there was this particular lady that stood out because number one, she was looking so beautiful, and I just spoke to her. Then I found a way to convince her to join any department in our church, and she decided she was going to join the choir. And I kid you not, when this lady joined the choir and she sings, she has a very beautiful voice. So from that moment onwards, I started liking her. The likeness I had towards her was just the likeness of fun. It didn't stop the love that I had for my wife. But over time, the likeness I had towards her increased, and we started talking. From good morning, how are you? How was your night? The talk led to higher talk, and before me and this lady started having something. Yes, I know it is wrong, but as a man, an African man, I felt okay. Let me just do it. It's just for the fun of it, right? So from that time, we started talking. I started going to that lady's house, and yeah, we started having sexual relationship. I felt I could control it. I felt nothing was going to happen. But tell me why, a couple of months into this relationship I had with this lady, she told me one day that she's pregnant. When she told me, I was surprised because at some point in my life, I just came to terms that I was never gonna have children. When this lady told me that she was pregnant, I was so happy. But she wasn't happy. She was worried, just telling me that what's she going to do? I'm a married man, I'm somebody's husband, that she wants to abort it. I said, abort what? Don't abort it though, because for me, you're gonna keep this pregnancy. I just reassured her that she shouldn't worry, that I'm gonna get her a new apartment that is a bit far from where we are, that I'm gonna take care of her. And I did exactly that. Although I was happy that she's pregnant for me, but I was kind of sad because I actually wanted the news to come from my wife. So from that moment onward, I started living a double life. There are some days I'll go and see the lady, there are some days I'll be with my wife. The days I'm going to see the lady, I'll lie to my wife that I'm going for a business meeting. I'll just find a way to lie to her. And because my wife has trusted me for these years, I've never given her any reason to doubt me. She always believes me. So long story short, the lady carried the baby to full terms and birthed the child. Couple of months later, she came to our church to do dedication. The day we were doing the dedication, I felt this kind of guilt. I was feeling guilty because I was saying the lady, I was saying my wife, unknown to my wife, that this child that this lady is dedicating, it is my child. Although I find a way to, let the whole feeling get past me, but I still kind of feel guilty. So the days I'll go and see her, I'll be good. But the days I'll be with my wife, I always feel restless. So I was able to live this double life for almost 10 years. Now, exactly when that child was 10, was completing 10, I started feeling sick. I started feeling, it started with malaria and typhoid. I took self-medications. I thought it was normal, regular, self-medications, regular, now, like when you're sick, I take self-medication, stuff like that. But the more I took the drug, there was no, improvement. I had to go to the hospital, and that was when the doctor broke it to me that they saw something cancerous in my body. So that was causing me to feel sick. So the doctor said I should go into treatment immediately so that it doesn't get past, it doesn't escalate more than that. So I went into treatment, started doing chemotherapy, started taking the drug, and every doctor's appointment. And my wife was there for me. She followed me everywhere. She reassured me that I should not worry, that nothing is going to happen to me. At some point, I overheard my wife bragging about me to her family members and her friend. She calls me different names. Like, this woman literally adores me. She tells them that regardless of the challenges that we faced in our marriage, I never left her for one day. I never used it against her. I never got a second wife. Even when she suggested to me to get a second wife, I told her no. So this woman brags about me. But unknown to her, I have been living a double life. Now here's where it gets tricky, yeah? Ever since I felt sick and I've been going through this chemotherapy and everything, I've been feeling more guilty. Like the way my wife supports, pray for me. My wife has been there emotionally, spiritually, physically. Like the more I see this woman support me, the more I feel guilty. The more I feel like I should tell her the life that I've been living. But I just don't know how to tell this woman, because I know if I tell her, it's going to break her. Given that at some point she suggested to me to get a second wife, and I said no. Mind you, me getting this lady pregnant was never the intention. The intention was just to have fun and keep it moving, as a man now, like, you guys understand, that was my intention. But unfortunately, and or should I say fortunately, she got pregnant, and because I've never had a kid in my life before, I asked the lady to keep this pregnancy. Now I need help. How can I break this news to my wife and tell her that this lady's child is actually my child? How can I tell her? Because I don't know. I need to be free of this guilt that I'm feeling. It is making me, like at this point, it is almost driving me crazy. And I don't know how to tell her. So, men in the house, I need your advice. What is the best possible way I can tell my wife that I got another woman pregnant, although it was not my intention, so that I just need to be free from this so that I can have my peace of mind. This story was sent to me by someone. Men in the house, what do you think you should do? If you find yourself in this situation, how are you going to tell your wife? Remember, it was never his intention to get her pregnant. It just happened. And given that he doesn't have any child, he just had to tell the lady to keep it. The child is almost 10 years now. So how can he tell his wife? Well, for me, I would say find a way to tell your wife, regardless of it, so that you be free, number one. Number two, your wife has she has the right to know. You say she has been a good woman. Just find a way to tell her she's gonna eventually come around, okay? Because if you keep this thing now, the longer you keep it, the longer it gets more complicated. So tell her so that you will be free. That is my advice for you. If you guys have anything better to tell him, please let him know in the comment section. Remember, in my page, we listen, we don't judge. Please tell him what you think in the comment section on how he can deal with this whole situation. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to keep your stories coming. To share your story with me, please send me a DM or please send me a message to the email on my bio. And if you're yet to follow me, please do so that you'll be notified each time I post. With that being said, I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.